Live from downtown Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School campus, it's time for EP Live. Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day around here. And here is actually a physical location. For those that don't know, we have moved into the VFS Cafe, which is in the downtown Vancouver district. So you can actually come and enjoy the show live and in person. Thank you all for coming here today, by the way. This is awesome. We're at 390 West Hastings Street in Vancouver, BC. And of course, we stream live every day. So if you're watching the archive of this, you can come into the chat and join the fantastic community that we have watching the show. Or you can come down and be a part of the audience right here, which would rock. We have a couple of new microphones. We are testing a couple of new mic options out today. This is the Shure, what is it, SM7B? Which is supposed to be the one that Michael Jackson recorded Thriller on. Everybody keeps reminding me of that, and everybody recognizes this microphone. It's one of the hot things on the internet. Joe Rogan uses this. And this is the Lauten LS208. We're going to hear both of them, and we're going to make a decision on which way we're going to go, and love to hear your feedback on that in the comments and in the live chat if you want to tell us what sounds better. But we're trying to make some tweaks and improvements. We've got to get going. We've got an awesome show for you today. Brooke Burgess is our guest. This guy is incredibly prolific and has done a lot of work in games and in television and podcasts, and he's a novelist, and he's a world traveler, and he's going to have great stories for us. I can't wait to have him on. But first, we have to get to the rundown, which is dedicated to Derek Yee, who says, "You're really good at your job." Thank you, Derek Yee. I love you. This rundown's all yours. Microsoft is really reaching to make Halo fans happy. The modern Halo games are finally coming to the PC. The remastered Halo Master Chief Collection will be released on Steam, and like the Xbox One version, it will include Halos 1, 2, 3, 4, and the spin-off ODST. On top of that, the PC version is adding an additional game, 2010's Halo Reach, and Microsoft says Reach will also be added to the existing Xbox One version of the collection. This is the first time the games in the main Halo series are deploying on the PC since Halo 2 was first released on the PC back in 2007, and the new versions will all run in 4K at 60 frames per second. Even though they've been released in one bundle, each game will have a staggered launch with one coming after the other. Expect the first one soon. Now, am I going to be playing these games again on the PC? Yeah, I'll test them out for sure. I'm a huge Halo fan. I think this is good news, and I think this is definitely part of Microsoft's new initiative to kind of put their games in as many screens and in as many places as they possibly can. I think they've attempted to do that in the past, but certainly technology is catching up for them. Netflix is paving the way. Disney Plus, the streaming solution, is kind of showing that, you know, it's more about subscriptions, and it's more about access through any portal that people might have to this kind of content. So this is good news for 343, good news for Bungie and the preservation of their classic work and their improvement of their classic work. So super excited about this. And Xbox One fans out there, people that have invested in the console, sometimes they get a little bit pissed off that Microsoft is kind of sharing the wealth with other people out there. I don't think you need to take that attitude. I think the good that will come out of this is that and we're seeing it in the investments into studios out there, making some of the different game studios out there's lives a little bit easier, letting them just focus on good game content. I think that's what this play is all about. Microsoft wants more screens, wants more players. You're going to get more games. And I think the days of console exclusivity are numbered, which is a good thing. Now, looking ahead to new games, it looks like Borderlands 3 is finally going to be unveiled. Gearbox Software has released an image on Twitter that appears to be teasing a Borderlands 3 announcement. It shows the familiar landscape of Borderlands planet Pandora with a highway sign that reads Exit 3 and March 28th in Boston. This almost certainly means that the long-awaited Borderlands 3 will finally be announced at PAX East, which is in Boston on March 28th. Gearbox has long hinted that a Borderlands 3 is on the way and even showed off a tech demo from the project at the Game Developers Conference 2 years ago, but there haven't been any concrete announcements about the game until now, and hopefully it will be worth the wait. This seems to be the year of the looter shooter. We seem to be getting a new announcement about new looter shooters almost every episode of EP, which is crazy. But Borderlands is a beautiful franchise. I've loved my time in these games. There's a sense of humor. There's a self-reverential quality. Just this really fun attitude about those games. And I've missed being able to play new content in the Borderlands universe, so I'm looking forward to this. Last time I tried a Borderlands game was Borderlands 2 in VR, and I played it until I wanted to puke. And so then I had to take the machine off my head and not puke and walk away from the game a little bit. VR, still figuring things out. But it was cool, and it was cool to jump back into that universe. I hope this game is good, and I hope it lives up to all the hype and the expectation. And now, the intense amount of competition. We've got the Division 2, we've got Anthem, we've got Destiny, which is now, under Bungie's purview, and they're going to be investing heavily into that game over the next little while. Probably somebody else is going to announce a new looter shooter that's going to drop out of the sky and compete with all of these other games. Very interesting days for this genre. It's the looter shooters versus the Battle Royale games now. Now, Captain Marvel is a hit, and now Marvel Studios is moving full steam ahead with their next big adaptation. Disney and Marvel have found a director to helm Shang-Chi, the new movie based on their superpowered martial arts master. The film will be helmed by Chinese-American filmmaker Destin Daniel Cretton, best known for directing the 2013 indie drama Short Term 12. This isn't the first time Marvel has hired a relative unknown, having worked with filmmakers like the Russo brothers, Taika Waititi, and James Gunn. Marvel is known for hiring not necessarily first-time directors, but directors who have only made one or two smaller films, and then giving them the chance to create their first big blockbuster. Shang-Chi will be the first Marvel film headlined by an Asian superhero, which will no doubt help make it an even bigger box office success in China. No word yet on who will play the lead, and I think this is incredibly exciting and about damn time. I think this movement towards inclusion and diversity, even if it's messy, even if it's complicated, even if it pisses people off, it's all a worthwhile pursuit. We need more kinds of stories, different kinds of people in front of the camera and behind the camera, because through these efforts, even as messy as they might be and as much as they might piss off traditionalists or people that have learned to kind of accept a lot of this content in a certain direction, through all of this effort, we're going to get better work. We're going to get more interesting stories that will surprise us and will entertain us in different ways than we've been expecting, in different ways than we have come to kind of count on. And that's what we don't want. We don't want these superhero stories to all feel the same. We want them to mix it up and shake things up and surprise us and shock us and challenge us. So I can't wait. I hope this is awesome. And yeah, right on, man. You certainly could applaud that. I hope it is awesome. And even though I didn't love the Captain Marvel movie, and I've been upfront about it, I do love that we have a female-led Marvel superhero out there, and more is coming. And I can't wait to see that character just improve. And the Black Widow movie. I'm excited, man. This is great. I'm super stoked that Wonder Woman was a massive hit as well. And it just makes... You know what, man? Like, I've seen so many stories in my long life reviewing things, so that's selfishly, I just want to be surprised. Is that so wrong? Right. Okay, cool. Now, cross-platform multiplayer has taken a small step backwards. For now, the Nintendo Switch version of Fortnite has removed its cross-platform multiplayer support, linking the system with the Xbox One and PS4. Boo! This means Switch owners will no longer be able to play with their friends on those consoles, with Epic Games saying that they made this change in order to make the game more balanced. The Switch version only runs at 30 frames per second, far below the 60 offered by the PS4 and Xbox One, so many Switch owners have been complaining about an unfair disadvantage. Hopefully, this won't be a problem as newer systems get more powerful. The good news is that the Switch will still work with iOS and Android versions of the game, and cross-platform between the PS4 and Xbox One remains unaffected. This would be the perfect time for me to announce that Nintendo is going to release a Switch Pro. But I have no such announcement. But yeah, if we're talking about having to kind of neuter the output of a certain console because it can't keep up with the rest of the stuff, I think it's time for a little bit more parity with the hardware. And you know, I know that there's a lot of new owners of the Switch and people that maybe just got on board at the last holiday season, but the machine is now 2 years old, and we're already entering into the next generation for PlayStation and Xbox. So I think it is time for Nintendo to be thinking about what their next powerful hardware will be. So we won't have these kinds of discrepancies, and cross-platform multiplayer play becomes commonplace. I think that would be great. And you know, honestly, if we're going to start to see Xbox content streamed on the Switch, maybe it could, the horsepower that's in the Switch itself right now, if it's just working as a streaming system, is good enough. But I think everything would benefit from a little bit more juice. And I wouldn't mind seeing a 4K version of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think that would be pretty rad. So stay tuned. I think we're going to hear about something new hardware-wise from Nintendo this year, as well as from Sony and from Xbox. Things are just getting started. It's going to be a big, big year for all this stuff. And speaking of rumors, which I think is a little bit silly and it's probably likely not going to happen, but something flashed all over the internet today that Sony might be buying Take-Two Interactive, which of course owns Rockstar and Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto, as well as NBA 2K. That would be a huge deal, one of the biggest in the video game industry ever, and it would put, you know, maybe the burden on the 2K franchises to become exclusive to the PlayStation platform, which would not make the best business sense. But it's all rumor, it's all speculation, and it sounds a little convoluted and a little outrageous, but who knows? This might be Sony's play. Like if Nintendo and Xbox are going to start playing nice together and merging some content, or you know, having stuff work on each other's platforms, Sony's going to maybe have to pony up and make some huge bets like this, just like Netflix is doing, saying, no, we don't need your Marvel shows anymore, we're going to make our own comic book shows. We're seeing Netflix invest in their own IP. Maybe Sony's got to do the same thing if they're going to fly solo, because they've got a huge install base. Again, we're going to find out all kinds of stuff this year. And one last thing, congratulations to our friend Jade Raymond, who just yesterday announced that she is now the vice president over at Google, running the Google Games Initiative, which we're about to find out about at the Game Developers Conference. Google apparently is going to be showing off a new console. There's been renders of a controller out there. And Jade is one of the people that's going to be running the whole show, which I am so happy about. Super proud of her, and the fact that Phil Harrison is right there with her, that bodes very well for whatever Google's got cooking with games. And the other rumor, of course, is that Sega is a part of all of this deal too, so could be very, very exciting coming out of GDC. But you know, we'll follow up with news as we get it.